but that's hard to reconcile with the depth of pain he caused me. Since then, I've re-entered the dating pool.
Hello and welcome back to the U Up podcast. I'm Jordana Abraham.
And I am Jared Freed. It is so good to be back here with you, Jordana. How are you? I always start with how are you, how you doing, but we've been
hanging out like
for 48 hours.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, to let people behind the curtains. I don't like when podcasts,
Well, here's the thing. We're recording ahead of time. Some people hate this. Some people hate when we pre-record a lot because maybe things happen and then they're like kind of not sure what day it is.
You know who hates it? My dad.
Your dad hates it.
My dad's big
My brother
feedback.
doesn't like it either.
He's
like, stop.
Maybe they're right.
Maybe.
But here's the thing: you either get no podcast over the holiday season, or we tape ahead.
You get one that's not perfectly timed.
Right. I value,
ungrateful. Spoiled.
So shut your mouth and take it. No, I personally, my personal opinion on podcasts and taking time off is, why would you? I think it's like an hour, add another hour for the week to like have an episode come out. Like,
I wouldn't leave you hanging in the first week in January.
I listen to podcasts.
The worst, pretty shitty week.
It's a pretty shit. It's to me, first week of January. That's podcast week.
That's the Monday of the year.
Right. You need a podcast.
Yes.
You need to put your brain on the shelf. In fact, here's another thing. Share this with a friend. There's someone out there in need. And I think also, just the holiday season, I listen to podcasts. Sometimes they'll do like best of, they'll take the time off. And I'm like, this is when I have the most time on my hands.
Right.
Like I need
this.
to get away from my parents, to take that walk, to go hang with my pals J and J.
Here we are.
This is all to say we're taping 2 days in a row. We went to a dinner party together last night.
Such a fun time.
It was really fun.
First dinner party I've attended with you.
Yeah. What's your opinion on me at a dinner party? And I'll give you my opinion on you at a dinner party.
Well, I'll get into that, but I also think like it's fun. Like I don't go to like dinner parties so often, but when I do, I'm kind of like, this is sort of like the beauty of being like in your mid to late 30s. Like that's like the most fun part of it. Like someone has a big enough apartment to have a dinner party.
Could not agree more. It is one of those things you get there and you're like, why would I ever go to a bar? I mean, the people who hosted last night are your friends that I was brought into due to your wedding, just like meeting them at the wedding. And they were saying that like growing up, they would do Shabbat at a rotating group of houses. And I was like, and for those that don't know, Shabbat is the Jewish holy day. It's, and
it's every week.
Every week, and Friday night to Saturday night, you turn off the electronics. I'm giving there's a rabbi listening being like, oi! I'm just saying, the Shabbat at its core of like once a week, you go to someone's house and you have some drinks and you eat some dinner. Pretty good idea.
Yeah.
So I was like, I could understand why their families, they don't seem like, it's not like we were sitting at like a religious group of people. It just felt like they probably were like, let's just call it Shabbat so that we can get together every week.
Right. It built in traditional excuse that also makes you feel like you're like, have some sort of order.
Right.
Yes.
And so I feel satiated mentally, mind, body, and soul from a hang at a house.
Exactly. Like a nice dinner party, good food, good wine.
Right.
Good,
and if you get through the awkward of the beginning, it's worth it at the end. It's a little bit, I think that's why people shy away from the home party.
Totally. So it was our first dinner party. Yeah. And what did I think of you? I thought you were great.
Well, did I do okay?
Yes.
I get worried that I couldn't talk about comedy too much because it comes up. What I don't
that's
like.
What you do.
I know, but like it comes up in a way that like I people have questions, which I understand. They're like, "What is that? Who would do such a thing?" Like,
I think you come in perfect. You come in
good.
like kind of quieter, understated, and then like you kind of respond to the crowd.
Right.
Do your own crowd work.
Right. I was watching you. You're great. Mike's great. It's you come in with a line. You bat 1,000.
Okay. Quieter.
Quiet, but then and probably just you always have the right thing to say. You know the tone of the room. You're a great addition. And then Mike was next to me at the table, and he referenced the Larry David episode of being a middle.
The middles, yes.
Which was funny.
We talk about that a lot. Yeah.
So just great. So much fun.
Fun time.
Everyone,
Thank you. I appreciate that. But I'm glad you came. I'm glad we had a great time. Sometimes I'm not sure if you, because I feel like, I don't want to call you flaky, but I do feel like you cancel on things like.
When people ask me to do something,
right.
I always respond.
You always say yes.
Well, I say yeah. I've been now doing, and this is my advice. Let's start with some New Year's advice.
Let's hear it.
Maybe you'll tell me it's bad advice. It's okay. Someone asks me to do something, I go, I don't say, I either go, I'm in, and that means I'm in.
Okay.
Or I'm a strong maybe.
Okay.
Or I'm a weak maybe.
But I'm in means I'm in?
I'm in means I'm in.
Okay.
Strong maybe means I'm weighing
what
it up.
What percent are you going?
I'm 70% there.
70? Okay. Maybe?
Weak, maybe 50%.
I think maybe is 40%.
Probably.
Right.
Weak maybe, slim and none. Like where the chances are low.
Mm-hmm.
No is a no.
Do you say no?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I'm not in town. Can't do it.
Right.
I mean, you asked me to this dinner party, or the host asked me to the dinner party, and I was immediate yes.
You were.
And I took the night off from comedy. I didn't do shows. I was like, great. I had time to like schedule myself out. Mm-hmm. It was great. And then we left. I went in one Uber. You and Mike went in another Uber.
Yes.
And I went to WXOU. I was like, I don't know. There's something about, I'm already out. I'm dressed up. I was a little bit dressed up more than I would be.
Okay.
Why am I going to waste the makeup?
Why not? You looked great.
Thank you. So I went to WXOU, and it was a mistake. I shouldn't have gone.
Okay. Don't you get tired? I was about to pass out after I left there. You left at like what? 11:30?
11:30.
Okay.
I admittedly a mistake. This is something, again, if we're taping out of order, but our New Year's episode will have resolutions.
Right.
One of my resolutions was to stop doing the post-game drink.
Okay.
And
I was thinking that as you said that.
Right.
But it's not New Year's yet.
It's not New Year's yet.
In our time zone that we are in here.
Right. In this timeline we're still in garbage time. This is garbage person era. This is
anything goes.
Anything goes, hamper person, whiskey for breakfast. We are in those times. So I went to WXOU is a dive bar in the West Village. It is a great bar. And it's decorated with holiday shit. So it's got like dive bar with holiday shit, which is like,
love that.
That
like
scratches an itch.
Rolf's or something.
It's like, this was like if Rolf's is like Christmas bar. This is more like Bob Seger playing on the jukebox and they had red Christmas lights. It has such a look right now. And I was like, ooh, I want to lie down in that bar and cozy on up with a drink. So I go in there.
Where is it again?
It's on Hudson. It's in the West Village. And again, WXOU is as good as the time you hit it. If you hit it, you got to hit it late night on a random weird night.
And
that's why last night was I was like, okay,
easy
Tuesday,
to get
in? Not on the weekends. You're going to have issues on the weekends. But
that's why it depends. So you got to go when you went.
Right, timing specific.
After a dinner party on a Tuesday.
That's when you go.
Right.
Because the real weirdos are going to be there. And I'm there. It's me, Captain Weird. So I go in there and the bartender, I know him a little bit. They know, we recognize each other on a dude man bro basis. I don't know his name, but he's dude man bro bartender.
Okay.
And we dap it up and he gets me I go, I'm going to do a dirty martini tonight. He goes, everyone's doing martinis. I was like, perfect. That's the vibe I wanted. I'm like happy.
Yes.
There's a booth that's like in the window. So you can like, it looks like it's out of a painting of New York. So I sit in this booth. It's empty. I have my martini. 2 girls come walking in. They are dressed up furs and heels and they're like
holiday party.
Holiday party. They were just at a club. These clubs are now coming out.
Clubs are back.
Clubs are back.
Did clubs ever go out or
not
did I just get
nightclub,
old?
like dinner club.
Oh, what's a dinner club?
Some of them are expensive. Like Soho House is a club.
Okay.
But now there are these other ones coming out that are like $30,000 a year. Like they're like this. We are living in the 80s. It is like
is Soho House over?
I like Soho House. I'm a huge fan. Love their hotels.
Yes.
Cafe. It's like CC's club, and then there's another club that's like there are these dinner clubs or restaurant clubs that you have to have membership to get into. I don't know anyone who buys the membership. It seems like people are just like given the membership. but they say they're 50,000 a year. Whatever. This is like New York, whatever.
Okay.
These girls were at a dinner at one of these clubs. They come in dressed up, the furs, and they look great, and they seem bright and post-holiday party. They're looking for the same weird as me.
Okay.
So then they plop themselves down at my booth. Like they just sit with me. Just sit.
Must be drunk.
Hammered.
Okay.
Me too. We're all drunk. And I'm like, we start having like a flirty talk. The flirty talk that would happen on a Tuesday night. And I'm like, this is exactly what I wanted. I was like, I'm like, they kind of sat with me. We can have this talk. We're starting, the dance has begun, so to speak.
With both of them.
With both of them. We're talking. We're having a nice time. I stand up to get another drink. And it's a little bit like punchy. Like the flirty, punchy thing.
Okay.
Like, what'd you do tonight? Oh, cool. What'd you do?
Right.
You can feel that there was just, it oozed sex.
Okay.
So then I get up to get another martini from the bar, and this guy comes up to me and goes, "You got a podcast?" And I'm like, yeah. He goes, "My friend knows you. You got a podcast? My friend knows you." And I go, "Oh, that's nice. Tell your friend I said thank you." "Okay, no, you're a comedian, right?" And I'm like, yeah. I'm Jared. And I go to shake his hand. And then his friend comes over and she's like, "I'm a huge fan. I don't want to like bother you." I go, "Oh, that's so nice." And she's like extra nice.
Okay.
And she's like kind of taking up my time now, but that's okay. Like she's being so sweet.
Right.
Get my martini. And I turn around and this guy's now sitting with the two girls that I was just talking to.
Wow.
And I'm like,
bold.
Right. This guy's a piece of shit.
Okay.
And I'm annoyed because I'm like, we were having the weird New York Tuesday night in the dive bar. Now this guy, he kind of like, he took my seat. And I'm like, now my decision is between get in there, kid, and start wrestling with this guy for, the ears of these women. And I'm like, as you said, we were tired. And I'm like, I don't have the energy for this. Like, this is like the highs and lows of dating. Like, to me, being single, go out, cool bar, have a drink, two women sit with you. Then you get up and it's like, "Oh, you the comedian," hammered guy.
Right.
Okay, I got to deal with that. Okay, now we're on a low. And then the girl, "Oh my God, I listened to the pot. Thank you so much. Thank you. Get my martini." He's sitting there. And I go, "Fuck this." And I go to the other booth.
Okay.
I go sit by myself.
By yourself, okay.
Which is like, now I've kind of stamped my feet and walked away, I guess, now looking back. And I'm like, I just didn't want to, like, I was having, everything was going at the speed I wanted it to go. And this guy just plops himself in. So then these
ruined your vibe.
It ruined everything for me. And then the bartender was like, "Is he cool?" I was like, "Yeah, there's no problem here."
Okay.
Then the two girls come up to me. They're like, "What? Your friend came and sat with us." I go, "That's not my friend."
Okay.
I go, "I just want to make sure you know that's not my friend. Like, I don't want to be
wonder what he told them.
Right. The guy's probably an asshole.
Sounds like it.
Right. So I'm like worried that I'm attached to this guy. And then they go, "You didn't know him?" They're like, and I go, "His friend's like and I made the mistake. This is where they probably think I'm a dick."
Okay.
I go, "His friend's like a fan of what I do."
Fan of mine.
Right. I'm like, "Oh, I shouldn't have said it that way." Okay. I'm embarrassed now telling it.
That's true.
And then
how else would you phrase it?
Right. Well, they go, "What? Fan?" And then they left.
Okay.
They're like, and I'm sure they thought the same thing as me. Like, this is too much.
Right.
Get us out of here.
Okay. So it sounds like,
a loss of a good night. Just one of those nights where I like went home. I'm like, what the fuck happened there?
Right. Do you wish you went back on like just the energy of the dinner party?
I wish I had gone home. Two things I wish. If I could do them over again, go right home, go to bed, wake up, feel a little bit better today.
Okay.
Or go back to the table and, have go talk to those women with the douchebag.
Sit with the other guy.
Sit with the other guy. I would have done it differently.
All right. Well, next time.
Was that story?
Although you're drinking less, so maybe never next time.
Never next. Well,
does that part excite you or like sadden you? The idea of like not doing that, not going out to like a bar.
It is one of those things that in the moment you're like, "Come on, let's have this weird night." Like that is the high. That is That's the
exciting part of being single.
Today, as we tape this, a sad Jared episode must have come out because I've gotten a lot of DMs being like, "There for your kid." Hugs.
I don't even remember.
I have no idea what I said. I think I think I went on a long-winded rant about dating.
Oh, maybe this
struggles.
was the turning 40.
Turning 40, maybe that was it. I got a text from someone about mentioning going to the hospital alone.
Okay.
I
Oh,
think
yes,
that was
it with your test results.
Very sweet text.
Just post them on your Instagram story, the test results. People
People want to know.
Yeah.
Everyone can see my blood type. So this is, to me, the beauty of being single is like
that you
go to
could
a
do
bar
this.
that you could do whatever you want. Like, I think people should cherish that a little bit. Like, enjoy, I should enjoy that. There'll be a day where I'm like going home after the dinner party going, I guess we're going home now. Like,
but maybe you'll be like happy about that.
I think I would be happy.
Yeah.
You hope you're with someone that you're happy you're doing that with, But
I was like, I've got to get the fuck out of here at this point. I'm like,
well,
I gotta get back here tomorrow.
Right. You had a trip.
Yeah. It was like 50 minutes.
Wasn't
that bad.
I mean, considering mine's 20 minutes
right,
from Upper East Side to
the
lower,
West Village,
the West Village. But how are you? I've gone on and on.
Since you've seen me last?
Since I saw you 10 minutes ago.
I'm good. I had not the best night's sleep due to our dinner party, but I'm
neither.
Yeah.
Well, why did you have a bad sleep?
Because whenever I drink, here's the thing. I go into a drinking event and I'm like, my sleep is not going to be good tonight because alcohol is just not good for my sleep.
Right. And saying it almost makes it even worse.
Makes it more true or something. But there's certain nights where I'm like, all right, but it has to be worth it. Like, I have to be like, all right, like, this is a night I'm going into it knowing this, and I'm gonna like go there.
Right. I think this is a hard time of year in New York City, especially. The heat is risen to, like, the radiators are turned up to like 30,000 degrees. So literally, I sweat the whole night. I had the window open, AC on, heater at full blast, and a fan on me.
What a smart use of energy.
I mean, it's just all brutal.
No, I agree. It's like in the ones where you can't control no one trusts the tenants to control their own heat. Has to be universal heat.
I made a video about that once. That is one of those New York City things that
it was a very funny video. I remember it.
It was like
and then there's like
the
that tweet. It's like the coldest, the hottest summer I ever had was like a winter in a pre-war New York City apartment.
And it's based off of the coldest summer I've ever had was San Francisco. It's like an old line. But what are we talking about today? And if you're out there, this comes out on the 9th. I am in Phoenix, Arizona this weekend.
A warmer spot.
I am playing
We're not
golf.
blasting the heat there.
No heat there. It's a dry heat there. So I'm going to go to Phoenix, Montreal. I'm coming to Montreal. And then New Zealand, Australia. I'm coming. Very excited for my New Zealand.
I'm so excited for you.
Yeah, I'm pumped.
I'm planning my own vacation for when you're gone because if you're gone, then I've got some free time.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
I've got to go. We were debating this. We were thinking of going skiing, but then I'm like, end of February, I need to be in the sun.
Yeah,
at that point in this city.
Yeah.
I am like jonesing for
it's the worst day of the year, February 21st. I mean, you're going to want to be somewhere else.
I'm like, that's the issue with skiing. It's like if I have the chance, because you go skiing in the winter, and if I have the chance to go away in the winter, I just want to be lying on the beach.
With a coconut in your hand.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what beaches are we debating?
I don't know. We haven't found. Do you have any suggestions? I know you're a big fan of Delray.
I'm a big Delray guy.
Yeah.
This is the best time of year to be down there. I'm a Miami guy if you're looking for like a more
activity,
party vibe, dinner vibe.
Right.
I also think
activities. Miami's like a good like group. I feel like if you know people down there, it's kind of like a couples trip. I feel like it's a little
Puerto Rico.
Interesting.
Puerto Rico. City beach vibe.
Yeah.
Puerto Rico has Miami to it. Has a little Miami in its
maybe
blood.
I'll check that out. We can't all be in the beaches of Sydney, Australia.
Well, I'm about to find out. And no, my brother, when he lived in Miami, he would say that like whenever people came to Miami, you became like living in Miami. You become people's like you're on a different group trip every weekend just from the nature of living there.
Totally, I could. But you're like, you're living in someone's like vacation.
So they kind of feel the need to include you.
Right.
He said it's a little weird.
Interesting.
It was tough. That's like
Doesn't get that in Chicago?
No one's going to
ready to
Lake
party?
Michigan to hang out. What are we talking about today?
All right, let's get into our
dating
email.
season, by the way. We've done,
we didn't even talk about the most dating app downloaded day of the year.
Well,
I think was this past Sunday.
That was past Sunday,
Yeah.
right? So listen, it is the time to send this podcast to a friend.
We're going to hear your dating resolutions. Many people have it on their, you included, they're looking for a relationship this year.
Yes.
We're here for you.
We are here for you. We're here for your friend. Send it to a friend, a coworker, a brother, a sister, a mama, a papa, anyone who needs to take their brain, put it on the shelf. What are we talking about?
All right. Hey, J&J, I started listening to you guys a few years ago, and my friend recommended the podcast.
Ahem. That's what we're talking about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Since then, she's gotten into a relationship, moved in with her partner, and is now engaged.
You're welcome to that friend.
Meanwhile, I'm still single and navigating.
I'm homeless. I have no boyfriend.
Well, it is weird sometimes when you see people and you're like, how did all these things happen to them? And I'm like, well, exactly where I was however many years ago.
I have this thought a lot. What was I
it's like
thinking about?
Because your bar is like the person next to you's like journey. If they start at the same place as you, it can feel like, I'm sure it feels that way with like career or like, other,
Sometimes I'll find out someone is like, this happens with career comedians. You'll find out you're like, that person, wait, what happened with them? And like, they're like the biggest comedian alive, like the next day.
Right. You're like, what was I doing?
Right. Well, was I trying during that? Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm still single and navigating the tangled world of dating apps in New York City as a 38-year-old female. But hey, at least you're batting 0.5.
Wrong person to read this email.
Is that how you say it?
Batting 500.
Oh, batting 500. Is it? Why
you're batting
there,
1 for 2.
Okay.
When you're in baseball, you're batting 1,000 would be.
Oh, okay.
I literally just 100%. Used this reference to talk about you at a dinner party. Okay. Batting 1,000 means you 100%.
Yes.
You nail everything. Batting 500 is like we've done 50-50. One friend we got engaged. The other friend, some alone loser in New York City, 38. Sitting in their studio apartment with one light bulb hanging from the ceiling
with the
while they're eating
opportunity
cat food.
To go to a Christmas bar at any moment.
They can go to a Christmas bar.
But why is there a dot in front of the? It's like it's your odds.
No, that's half.
Oh, that's how you do it.
500.
Wow, I've never.
Batting 1,000 means you've
hit it every time.
But batting 500 is a Hall of Famer.
Okay.
That is something to keep in mind. It's something people use in baseball to encourage people is that like. If you hit the ball 1 out of 3 times at bat, you are unbelievable.
Okay, so we're really good.
We're really good.
That's what she's saying.
Yeah.
My question is this: when you're messaging someone on the apps and they say or do something that instantly disqualifies them as a match for you, can you just stop responding, or is it better to tell them flat out that you're no longer interested? Here's a couple of examples.
I love the examples.
I matched with a guy on Hinge and later noticed he updated his profile to include "not yet vaccinated," which for me is a deal breaker. So I casually slided into the chat while we're talking about his new dog. Like, hey, Shadow looks super cute, but you're not vaccinated, so I'm going to unmatch.
Let's start with this
one by one?
Yeah, let's do it one by one.
Okay.
First of
all, I
all,
wouldn't say something to someone who said they weren't vaccinated.
I would say here's a nuanced answer.
Okay.
First of all, what year was this written to us in? It is weird that the is the vaccination thing still like a thing on the profiles?
I think I don't know if it's still on the profiles, but like, is it still a thing that you would judge someone for?
Right.
I guess is my question.
Yeah,
and
I don't know.
I think here's the thing: I don't necessarily like care if someone is physically vaccinated. I think against COVID-19, yes, in terms of like how it will affect my actual health. I don't think it will. It's more like, what does that say about them as a person? Like that they never got vaccinated when it was a thing?
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
No, I know what you mean completely. Like
the actual thing doesn't really matter, but it's more like you being the kind of person who never got it.
Also, the type of person who needs to put that on a profile.
Yeah.
Again, kind of rings political.
Yeah.
Like it's like I need to let people know this is my ideology.
I'm offering this up to you.
Right. Like to me, like having I am vax on the profile is like fine. Like doesn't push me one way or the other. Having I've never gotten vaxxed is you making it's like a statement is trying to be made.
Because you could have just not said anything.
Yeah, it feels like they're trying to make a statement.
What would you do? You see, okay, you're talking to a woman on the apps. All of a sudden, you see she changes her profile to not yet vaccinated.
It would put up a little. It would make my antennas go up. Mm-hmm. Would it necessarily take a great conversation that was heading towards a date and make it a nothing conversation for me? No.
Okay.
But it would be something that like would be brought up on the date. Because I'm interested, not because I'm trying. I think that's the thing that, and again, my taste and what is doesn't matter for this person.
What if it was something that actually did?
I think my policy would be I'm going on a date curious, but I'm not going on a date to change someone.
Okay.
A first date especially. So this person, if that you saw that and you're like, that is something that I would never date, not going to happen. I can't even, an answer would not even make me happy. You got to stop talking to them.
Right. And I don't think you need to
your time.
Say why.
Right. There's no why. There's no, just Homer Simpson back into those hedges.
Just disappear.
Right? But I'm saying like, my taste doesn't matter in this. Like,
right. I meant more like if you saw something, someone changed their profile. Let's say they said they lived in New York City. You see, they changed the thing. They put right before you're going to go out with them. You see that they
put Long Island.
Yeah.
Or they put like
Poughkeepsie, whatever it is.
I'm actually gonna.
You're gonna say something. You're not gonna say something.
I've said something.
What would you say?
Hey, I saw the location's different to me, but maybe not.
They're adding in something after that you didn't think was.
We're talking
might be a
great
deal breaker for you.
Now they live in Poughkeepsie. Hey, I see your location changed. Do you live in New York City? And if they wrote back, I'm here all the time, I would say, listen, I've done this before. I did this. Okay. I would say, hey, I've done long distance before. This isn't really what I'm looking for. I appreciate that that you're doing this, but I'm going to have to back away.
So then should she do the Homer Simpson thing, or should she say, hey, like, I noticed you changed your profile to not vaccinated?
To me, right. I don't.
Is that accurate? I mean, it could be the same thing.
I guess if she said, hey, right, she could question it. You can get one question on it.
Without being antagonistic.
Question, just know you're not there to change someone who you're talking to online.
Right.
You know, like you have to, expectations. I think that's the thing for me. Like when I asked, do you live in Manhattan? And the situation I had was she lived in Florida.
Right.
And it said, her profile said Manhattan. And I was like, we're talking and I go, hey, what's going on this weekend? And she's like, I'm heading back to Miami. And I was like, and the more the conversation went, the more I started to realize, I was like, it sounds like she lives in Miami.
Yeah.
And I go, wait, do you live here or Miami? She's like, but I'm here all the time. And I'm like, and then she wrote this long thing of like, oh, I guess it didn't. Then I felt like I was being lied to.
Right.
Because she was like, oh, I guess my location changed. It's like, well, no, that's not what happened.
Well, as soon as you're feeling like a tension, I feel like it's probably best to just move on.
Well, then we moved on, and then I made a TikTok about it, and then she saw the TikTok, and she messaged me, is this about me? And I was like, yes.
You're your own worst nightmare.
I am. Yes. But I think to this woman, what would you do?
I think
you see that this changes,
right?
The vaccination changes.
It depends how good the conversation was.
I think I would ask. Best one you've ever had.
If I still wanted to go out with them, I would ask about it before the date on the thing.
Don't ask questions of people you don't want to go on a date with. I think
if it was like a fine, completely average conversation, I think I would say, I would just do the Homer Simpson into the bushes thing. If I was like really excited, we're maybe getting pretty close to going out, and I'm like into this person, I think I would ask.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Asking is not changing.
Right.
Asking, curious is good.
Yes.
Okay.
But you also don't owe anyone anything. Okay. Another time I was talking to a different guy who asked me out, and instead of finding out where in the city would be convenient to meet for what I assumed would be casual drinks, he came up with this arbitrary list of fun date ideas that felt like they were picked straight off a tourist guide. A comedy show, the Central Park Zoo.
Pick a card, any card.
The Natural History Museum or White Horse Tavern, oldest bar in New York City, quote unquote.
White Horse is pretty good. Good neighborhood, right near WXOU, across the street.
So you're into that one.
Nice little Christmas look.
Yeah, I mean, that just sounds like he's picking a bar. None of those options appeal to me. And honestly, anyone who...
White Horse doesn't appeal to you? I don't know.
She might be the issue.
A little Ms.
And honestly, anyone who even suggests a list like that for the first date isn't the match for me. Should I have responded with something like, hey, thanks for the suggestions, but none of these are convenient or in line with what I want to do on a first date, and I'm no longer interested in you?
Please don't write that.
Yes. That's not nice.
My penis literally went inside of me when I heard that sentence. I mean, I like a turtle. It just was like, go away.
That's just not nice, I think. also.
Right. And especially if you've gotten to the point, listen, a couple things can be true at once.
Right. One, you could not want to go to the Natural History Museum with someone you've never met before.
Right. I don't.
I don't either.
I don't want to be sent a list of tours. I get where she's coming from. I do think she has to look in the mirror a little bit. Did this guy just offer this list after no conversation, or are you having a great conversation?
Right.
And then are you having a great conversation? If a conversation, to me, if I'm in a good enough conversation to get to a date, I'm also in a good enough conversation where I can go, how about, these all sound like cool options, but why don't you just pick a wine bar and let's just get a drink first? Like, if I can't do that, our conversation, I'm going to bet isn't that great.
Right. I agree.
Yeah,
if you're not vibing in the way that you feel comfortable saying that.
Well, again, she's 38. So I'm just saying this, the age plays in, like, you got experience here. Like, you know how to talk to people. You know how you want to be talked to.
Right.
So this is kind of where her taste is coming in. She's going, should I tell this person I don't want to go on this list of things? It's like, well, you like something about them to get asked on a date. If you didn't, you need to reflect on how you're doing these conversations on dating.
And this is kind of bringing us back to a conversation we had in a previous episode where it's like, if someone suggested this to you that you met in person, would you be okay with it? Probably. Right.
Well,
or would you work with it?
Was that the Logan Ury?
I think it was, where it's like it was like how you say you would respond versus how you would actually respond in like a different scenario.
I thought was a really...
I forgot what she called it.
Whatever she called it was very smart. And I think it's worth thinking about. And for me personally, in my dating life, like, you being a hater,
right?
Because like Natural History Museum, this is easy to like show your friends. They can go, look at this fucking loser.
Right. If this was a person you knew, would you be as harsh?
Right. And I think it's okay to, hey, this list of stuff is all stuff I would love to do in the future with someone. I'm looking to just get to know you a little bit. I would love for you to pick a coffee place or a wine bar, and let's do that first.
Totally. In the same way you'd say that if someone was like, do you want to come to my apartment?
Right.
I mean, that's something people get all the time. And you can say what you're comfortable with back. And if the person's not on the same page, it naturally will go away.
Would that list make you go away or end it?
Again, it depends how good the conversation was.
Mm-hmm.
I think if they like, it would give me a little bit of a red flag that there's someone that would like want to do that with a stranger, I guess, almost. But it's like, I mean, in some places people might think that's nice.
It's in line with, he went and Googled New York things to do.
Right.
Which is like,
which would be cute if you were like on date 4.
Right. Hey, let's do something like quirky, like
let's go to the zoo. You want to go to the zoo? That'd be like fun and flirty. Not on a first date, but like,
so
I get that no one owes anyone anything on the dating apps. Would the dating world be better off if we were all upfront about what we're feeling instead of just ghosting?
No, shut up. I say that in the most nice way.
Don't make this a societal issue.
I hate that so much. With the dating world, but I have to wonder, Carrie,
and then I got to thinking.
Yeah.
Or is it a waste of time to tell someone something they might find upsetting and risk them getting defensive, especially when you've already moved on in your head? Thanks for all you do, an uninterested batch.
I love this question, the way she posed it. It's like, well, it's all in delivery. It's all, again, like, I saw that you unvaccinated. We were having a great conversation. Is that something that's really important to you? Because when someone,
it's kind of important to me.
It's kind of important to me. Is pizza good if you just throw it at their face? No. Like
right,
if
all
you
about
bring
delivery.
it over on a plate. Yeah. So, no, I appreciate her email because she's matching my energy.
I like
sometimes.
it. Yeah.
I do.
We appreciate it. I think it's here's the other thing we've said many times. You don't know anyone on the apps anything.
Right.
So if you truly don't really want to, like, if that's a deal breaker for you and you don't even want to get into it and you're speaking to 7 other people, you don't answer, it's fine.
Something about this is making me want to download a dating app. I don't know why.
Really? She's making it sound horrible.
I know she made it sound horrible, but I really...
You could be in Central Park next week.
Taking a walk. You ready for some awkward encounter?
Let's do it.
Dear Jared and Jordana, very formal. First time, long time, and a subscriber too. Heart emoji. Thank you.
Love it. Thanks for subscribing.
Let me set the scene. I was literally minutes away from getting engaged. Nails painted, hair done, outfit on. I was preparing to head out the door for what I thought would be the happiest moment of my life.
This is crazy to me.
Well, that's a little... To say I'm minutes away from an engagement... No, you weren't.
When I hear about this, I've heard this before from other women.
Really?
They think they're getting engaged. they're getting broken up with. It's
Surprise!
wild to me. It's wild.
That is
a couple where like here I can explain this couple to you.
How does this happen?
I can explain. I mean, I'm not in it, so I can't like fully explain it. But to me, this is what it seems like. The woman has said, "I would like to be engaged by the end of the year," and the guy is like, "Okay, I need more time." Right? And then the end of the year is coming, and she's like, "Okay, like." He's like,
and the
guy's in his head. He's like, and the guy is like freaking out. And the guy makes a plan to do something or he's coming home and they're gonna have a conversation.
So you think this is the premise of this? Because to me, this is how women sound crazy, and they're not crazy. I
think they're not crazy, but I think the man is not being direct with his thoughts. There's no problem in the relationship necessarily, but he is not sure he wants to marry this person.
And he said, I want to get together.
Yes.
And she's like,
I'm coming home for dinner.
This can only be one of two things.
She's already given this like soft ultimatum of like, I want to be engaged. So they both know that there's like a timeline for this coming, but in her mind, it's like, of course, like if he wants to talk, it's to solidify the ultimatum I've already given him.
Right. It can't be a breakup.
Right. Because they've never talked about breaking up. She's just said, I'd like to get married. It wasn't like you know what I mean? Like this is her. She set the standard for this is when I want to get married. And so she's assuming it's either like we're getting engaged or maybe he's not going to propose tonight, but not like, oh, he's going to come break up with me. And I think this happens when a man is being and it's a man's fault. I think it's both of their faults, but like it's the man's fault a lot of times because he's not saying what he's thinking, which is like, I'm not sure. I need more time because I'm not sure if I want to marry you, and I might not. And if I don't marry you, I need to break up with you.
It's him, and I've thought about this with myself. It's him going back and he's having a conversation about their relationship with only himself.
Right.
You know,
not speaking to her.
She is not included in the insecurities and the will they, won't they.
And she's like,
their relationship.
Yes.
And I've done that. Where I'm like, and if I included her, here's the reason he doesn't include me. If I don't include the woman, I'm not including her because I don't want her to bring up all the good reasons or ways that we could work through this. Right. I would look at that and be like, that is a lot of work.
Instead, you're saying what you think is which buying you more time, which is like, I need more time is the end. And of course she's thinking, again, that's what I'm saying. He's probably
I need more time to find this ring for you.
Right.
Yeah.
She's like, okay, he just needs more time. I'm not going to like blow this whole thing out. He just needs more time. How much time do you need?
It is.
Okay.
It is so funny.
Oh, you want to talk? Oh,
right.
He's ready. He wants to talk.
And then she's like, I better get my nails done for this talk.
Yeah.
Better put on my makeup. There's going to be a photographer
And
there.
again, I think she was
Maybe people should get a photographer for the breakup too.
Just so you can remember that moment?
Yeah, well, I don't know.
And I leave you these parting dating app pictures. Professional. You're going to be all right, kid.
I didn't do nothing for you.
Yeah.
Here's dating app pictures. You look your best.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I don't know.
I don't know if it's a good idea. Anyway.
So
let's let her set her own scene.
So we'll let her set the scene. But it is funny. I do think like the unfairness to women, and I'm not saying this to be a hero. I'm just saying like I can understand a guy being like, you fucking loony bitch. Like you got your nails painted and then you got broken up with, and then it's such a longer story than that.
Of course, because he's not saying things that I think he's not saying things, and she's not also hearing things that she doesn't want to hear.
Right, and then when
two people like
ignoring,
half expressing themselves.
Right. So let's let her set it up. Let me set the scene. I was literally minutes away from getting engaged. Nails painted, hair done, outfit on. I was preparing to head out the door for what I thought would be the happiest moment of my life. And then he broke up with me. We'd been together for 4.5 years, living together for 2. We froze embryos together. We were in couples counseling. Working through communication issues. So
This makes sense.
yeah, how could she think it would be a breakup? You're right.
Bad communication.
Don't recommend that counselor. And had talked about getting engaged. He'd even discussed matching his future accessories to my yellow gold engagement ring with friends.
Do you think that means anything?
I don't think that. That's the line that gets me like eye roll city.
Right. Well, that's like, I'm talking about a wedding I would like, not necessarily with you as the bride.
Right. And you're just saying shit.
Right.
You know, like, I mean, she's taken he said it to friends. Well, he might be. How could he take that back from the friends?
They're half communicating.
Right.
Yes.
But I'm saying can I just say to the women listeners here, that when guys say things to their friends, they can all be taken back.
Right.
Not one of my friends would I feel embarrassed by. I would never feel embarrassed to be like, we broke up.
Right.
My friend would never be like, well, what will you do with the embryos?
I would wonder.
I'm just saying, you would wonder, but I wouldn't feel embarrassed by it. So I think when she's referencing, like, he said it to friends that he wants to match my ring, you're taking more out of that. But I hear what she's saying.
I mean, she also says we talked about getting engaged.
That's big.
Yeah, talked about, but that could have been her saying, "This is when I'd like to get engaged," and him saying, "Okay, let me take that," and like, I'm not ready right now, but like, I might be soon. Maybe.
Right. I mean, I've talked about things with people
Kicking the can.
that I've been like, cool.
Yeah, I've talked about going on trips with people. I've
Right.
talked about making plans with people. Doesn't mean I'm going to do it.
The night before, I gave him an out, asking if he was ready. He doubled down. I'm excited for the next step. That's not really doubled down. I mean, in a court of law, I'd be like, explain the next step.
Right. Did he say what the next step was?
Then the next morning, the morning I thought I'd be saying yes, he ended everything. Rationally, is this an awkward encounter? What email is this?
This is awkward.
Rationally, I know I dodged a bullet, but emotionally, I feel blindsided, hurt, and deeply disappointed in someone I thought was a better man.
She needs to do that at this moment.
I know.
Fine.
I'm also anxious about seeing him at a mutual friend's wedding in August 2025. In theory, I'd love to play it cool and say hi, as you've advised before, but that doesn't sit right with how humiliated and wronged I feel. Playing it cool feels like letting him off the hook.
This is like, to me, like, and to put it in a male term, this is like, you think you're going to get promoted.
Right.
You're ready to go in there for your performance review, getting promoted. You're like, like polishing off your private office door, and then you get fired.
You're fired.
Right.
Yeah. I get it. Part of me wants to punish him. This feels like it was written an hour after this happened. Whether it's by imagining throwing a drink in his face, don't worry, I wouldn't, or hoping our mutual friends freeze him out. I know those feelings aren't productive, but they're hard to shake. I'd obviously prefer to feel grounded and in control of my emotions at the wedding, but that's hard to reconcile with the depth of pain he caused me. Since then, I've re-entered the dating pool.
She seems ready.
She sounds ready.
She's ready, yeah.
Can you imagine? Hey, how was your weekend? It's fine.
Tell me about your past relationships. I'm thinking of I want to throw a drink in my ex's face.
Going anywhere in August 2025? Yeah, I'm going to see my ex at a wedding.
Terrifying.
Re-enter the dating pool, which has been fun. I've even had a fling with a younger guy, 27, who went to the same college as me and my ex and was in his frat. Got him. It didn't last, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't enjoy imagining my Leonardo DiCaprio moment at the wedding with essentially the younger model of my ex on my arm.
Would that bother a guy?
Not real. Not me. Maybe my same fraternity. I'd be like, were we in the same fraternity?
Right.
Like, I don't even know if I would know them.
Would you care if an ex was dating like a hot younger guy?
Hot younger guy? Oh, like that? No.
What if she was dating?
If she came in with a younger guy to the wedding, I'd be like, wow, I really fucked her up. I'd feel. Now she's with like some kid. Like,
right.
I'd be like, is she okay?
Ooh, yikes.
Yikes.
That's the nightmare of an ex seeing you and saying yikes.
Right.
Like, dodged a bullet. Yikes.
He gets a little drunk. He's talking about Pokemon or some shit. I'm like, this guy. This is who you have.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be more probably upsetting if they come in with like a super successful older guy who's like got like the coolest guy you've ever met.
Right.
Right.
Like the worst case scenario is coming into a wedding with like younger guy, but he's like dressed not appropriately for the wedding. You know, and you're like,
it's black tie.
Right.
He's wearing a suit, regular suit.
But it's like the jacket is like the shirt isn't like it's like not a nicer. It's like a button down, but from like Aeropostale.
Yeah.
Instead of like a dress shirt, like I'd be like, "Ooh, she's not doing great."
Yeah, I would.
I'd be like, "This feels like
I feel
a
bad.
remedy." Yeah, I feel bad.
What did I do to her? Okay.
Well, we know what you did to her. You didn't get engaged to her on the day she thought she was
Now
getting
she's
engaged.
the pigeon woman from
Right.
Home Alone 2.
I think her coming in as the pigeon woman would be like
You'd
better
feel more
than-
regret because
she
you'd
comes-
be like, she's cool.
At least she's like got a hobby.
Oh
She
my
feeds the
God.
pigeons. All right. Logically, I know I've already won the breakup. Everyone who knows the details agrees he handled it poorly.
I've sent out a doodle, and everyone agrees he handled it poorly. Who is going to tell you, the scorned woman, that he makes total sense how he handled that?
I'm right.
There's a little bit of a bias here in the research.
Let's
Studies show.
Right, let's do a little. We'll do it here.
This gets
Who won
pettier
the
and pettier.
breakup? I know who won the breakup.
This guy won the breakup.
Well,
Of course he won the
guy
breakup.
who ended things with someone that he knew wasn't his match, or woman who's texting all her friends who won the breakup.
A survey, yes.
Yeah. So like, I feel for her.
I do too. I'm
laugh
sorry for
'cause we
making fun of
love.
you.
His button-up family even she called the family. Everyone who knows the details agreed he handled it poorly. His button-up family even called his actions not the best move.
That is literally like not even a bad thing to say about someone.
Not cool, bro.
Right. Like, how would someone's mom, if they saw you at the supermarket, discuss the breakup with you?
Yeah,
This is like literally the most diplomatic thing you could possibly say to someone.
That is what you say to the ex.
Right. That's what you say when
you feel
someone
bad for.
That's what you say when you run into someone's ex and they're like telling you about how traumatic their breakup and situation went,
Yeah.
and you don't know what to say, and you're like,
Right.
wow, yeah, that sounds like not the best move.
Right.
I would say that to literally
is-
anyone who was like telling me a very strongly one-sided version of a story.
Right. That is to make everyone's life in that conversation more comfortable.
Right.
Not to tell you how they really feel.
Yes. Not to say that it wasn't the best move. Fine.
I'll admit something, because we're making a lot of fun of this person who's going through a hard time.
I'm sorry.
And I'm sorry, because I understand everything she's saying
Right.
is not wrong, so it's just emotional.
I understand where this is coming from. She wants to feel validated that
Right.
this is a really hurtful thing to happen to her. I'm giving you we're giving you the validation that this sucks.
Right. And I don't think I think everyone gets their moment to feel this way. I don't think these are the practices that get you out of this.
Definitely not. And I have
spot.
to say, she says, I know I've already won the breakup. The person who wins the breakup doesn't think about if they won the breakup.
Right. That's the thing.
That-
And she'll only have won when she realizes that.
Yes.
So since then I've moved to a new city. I'm crushing it at work. I'm in the best shape of my life. Like, even when someone says I'm
Yes.
crushing it at work and in the best shape of my life, I'm like, good for you.
It's like that
I don't believe any of
It's like that
this.
Euphoria meme where she's like, I've never ever been happier, and she's like hysterically crying.
Right.
Yes.
This is just not buying, and have built new communities around my hobbies. Like, to me, sentences like that.
This sounds like an angry breakup letter.
Yes. But part of me still wants him to hurt post-breakup as much as he hurt me.
I get
How
that.
did this end up an awkward moment?
I get that. It's awkward.
Here's what I would love your advice on. 1, how can I reframe this wedding in a way that feels authentic and honors my feelings?
Okay. That's a good question.
2,
She knows she's being weird.
So let's do 1 first.
Okay.
What do you think? How do you she's written things that sound, I know I sound bad.
She's not over it, which
She's
is
not
fine.
over it,
It's
but
okay.
to me, this is where TikTok is steering women wrong. Like, the comments section.
I think this question is good, though.
The question is good.
Yes.
Her feelings are validated. The way she's going about it, the only people that would cheer her on are the idiots who also got dumped when they thought they were going to get engaged in the comments section.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying they're idiots for having that happen to them. I'm saying they're idiots because they don't care about you getting better. They care about feeling
Validated.
That their anger is validated. And so they go, yes, you need to honor your feelings at the wedding. No, the wedding is someone else's wedding. It's not about you. You're not the star of that wedding. You're a side character that someone invited so that you'll have fun. You don't sound like a fun wedding guest to me.
Right.
You sound like you came there with an axe to grind. And I know it's going to take time. This feels fresh. August 2025. It feels fresh.
Yeah.
We have time to get there.
Yes.
So let's go. How can I reframe the wedding in a way that feels authentic and honors my feelings? That honors my feelings thing feels so woo-woo.
Yeah. It's weird. Does she mean this breakup? Reframe the breakup, or is she saying reframe this wedding?
I think because she's going to this wedding. How do I reframe, I guess, going into it?
Going to the wedding?
Right. And how do what's the story I tell, or how do I do the wedding?
Here's the story I would tell that's the healthiest version. And if you can believe this, it takes some time. And I understand wanting to villainize the person that is the reason that you feel so shitty. Because that's what's really going on here. You feel horrible. You feel humiliated. I don't whether you should or shouldn't, this is how you feel.
No, that's how you feel.
You feel really sad because someone you thought you were going to spend the rest of your life with doesn't want to spend the rest of their life with you. To validate to yourself that you deserve to grieve this relationship, feel really horrible about being broken up with, and be really upset for a bit.
Yeah.
However, in the grand scheme of your life, here's how you frame this breakup. Someone who I dated this guy for 4.5 years. We had a lot of communication issues. We weren't really on the same page about a lot of stuff. And ultimately he decided he didn't want to marry me, and
he decided he didn't want to work through our issues together.
That's better.
To me,
I like that.
Because marry me, not marry me. Like,
I agree.
That's like not a win-loss.
I agree with you that feels more like I've been chosen or I've been not chosen.
Right, because whenever I've ended things with someone, if I'm to be honest, it's I didn't want to work through it with them. It wasn't that I didn't choose them.
Right. We had these issues. He decided he didn't want to work through them and wanted to move on. It was really painful for me. I really loved him. I really valued the relationship, and I was really hurt by it. But it happens. I'm glad it happened before we got married, and I'm glad that even though we didn't have great communication, that this got said instead of going down a road where we're both not saying things that we feel.
Right. I think that's a great way to reframe it. I think also she should call him and she needs to say this to him.
Yeah.
The breakup hasn't been fully done.
Let it fizzle. Yeah.
Right. But I think do this not at the wedding. How about we get these out of our system? Because she's really worried about seeing him and seeing him happy.
Right.
And being at a wedding with all their friends where they get to witness happy guy, sad woman.
Yes.
So that's what she's embarrassed about, seemingly. I would
it does feel embarrassing to be rejected. That's I can validate that feeling of feeling harmed and then wanting to harm someone back because of that.
Well, I think, but I tell him these things.
Yeah.
I think this idea that you don't have the right, you have the right to.
Yeah, you dated for 4.5 years.
Right. Hey, there's a few things. I got to open tabs. Mm-hmm. We got to close these tabs.
And I think I deserve that.
Right. And can you get together so I can close these tabs and let me talk with you and just have a moment to get these things off my chest and let you know the insecurities I have going. We're going to this wedding with all our mutual friends. I want bad for you. I don't want to have that in my brain. I don't want to think hope for bad for someone. It's like when you go to the casino and you hope someone at the table loses because you're I don't like their fucking face. They end up winning.
Right.
They end up always winning.
Because the person who's more relaxed
is letting the world come to them. And also, you don't know what they're going through, too. How can I stop getting in my own way with this winning the breakup mindset? I
think we already said that.
We did.
If you're focused on winning, you're losing.
Right. And she writes, sincerely, the one who got away from that mess. I think she needs to stop doing that, too.
The villainization of the guy?
And the relationship was a mess. No, the relationship is an experience you went through, and you are who you are today because of that experience.
Right. And I think an important...
Share, like it a little bit. It's okay to say it was I'm better for having that relationship.
Totally.
That was a mess. I escaped.
Yeah, and I think it's important, again, you forget this in a breakup or when you're wronged, and I've done it too, so I'll put myself in there too, but it's something can feel really hurtful and really bad and really horrible, but it doesn't mean that the other person is doesn't mean it shouldn't have happened.
Right.
And it doesn't mean that the other person is a villain. Both things can be true. It's hard because you want to place all this negative energy onto someone.
Mm-hmm.
But
and again, like she's posted the pictures. 4 years they lived together. It's very public. It's very.
And then you
friends, everyone knows, and I get why that feels embarrassing, but no one cares.
Right. And I think this also helps. These are the lessons that I'm taking from this relationship into my next dating venture.
Here's the other thing I would say, and as we're talking through this, anything you do to show you don't care will make it seem like you care.
Yes.
So bringing the younger guy and making out with him on the dance floor. I'm doing great. Look at me. The hot young dude. I don't think anyone walks away going, look how well she's doing.
Yeah, I think it's going to have the opposite effect.
Right.
Yeah.
So I wish you the best. I write in, let us know how the wedding goes in August. If you'll still ever listen to us after this.
And again, I'm sorry for your breakup.
Let's play some games.
Let's do it. All right.
Red flag or deal breaker?
All right. Dear Jordana and Jared, thank you so much for all you do and keeping me entertained in my daily commute. I have a red flag deal breaker where I fear I might be the problem.
We are in a mood today.
Let's find out.
So we might tell you you're the problem.
For context, I have a lot of fairly severe food allergies.
Uh-oh.
When I was younger,
Sounds like a pita.
We'll find out. Specific order.
I'm kidding. Okay, go ahead.
When I was younger, I used to be very self-conscious about them and try not to tell guys up front about them because I was nervous they would see it as a red flag.
I make a lot of jokes about this, but it's not a red flag.
Yeah,
you got severe allergies.
Yeah, that's your baggage.
Right, that's it.
I went out on a date with a guy. We were just going to do drinks, but after the waitress took our drink order, she asked if we wanted any of the appetizers. One of the featured items at this restaurant was their pork nachos. The guy looked at me and said, "Want to split a plate of nachos?" Trying to be the
pork nachos on a first date?
I respect it.
I'd eat no pork. I'd eat them. Of course,
I don't want the pork, but like
that's what I'm saying.
A regular
nachos.
No nacho. Yeah. Trying to be the cool, go with the flow girl. I said, "Sure, why not?" And immediately kicked myself because I'm allergic to dairy and therefore cannot eat cheese-covered chips. I then spent the next 10 minutes trying to figure out how to tell this guy that I just said yes to a dish I'm extremely allergic to. Instead of doing that, I said nothing, and when the nachos got to our table, I didn't touch them the entire time, which then in turn led to him also not touching the nachos.
Oh, no.
This is so sad.
Just
They're known
say
for
it.
the nachos.
Yeah.
We had several drinks, and when it came time to get the check, the waitress asked if everything was okay with the nachos, which remained on our table.
They're fine. I'll just shit my pants for the rest of my life if I eat them.
So that sounds like sexy on a first date.
Yeah.
For some reason, we both immediately said, yeah, they were great, leading to a confused look on her face. This is very cute.
It is cute. Yeah, this is out of a movie.
Several dates later, I admitted to the guy that I was actually allergic to cheese, and that's why I didn't touch the nachos, but I was too nervous to tell him on our first date. He admitted that he didn't touch the nachos because he felt weird eating them when I wasn't eating them. 4 years later, we're still together, and he still occasionally orders nachos when we go out, but just for himself. I also took him back to the restaurant for a date so that he could actually eat the famous nachos, which he said were pretty good. So red flag or deal breaker, she doesn't eat the shared appetizer that you order on a first date. Nacho girl. I'm surprised he didn't just like take one just to like start off the nacho.
Get things going.
Right,
yeah. I would have been eating the nachos if I were him.
So would I.
Yeah. Like.
And then I would have said like, are you okay with
right. It's like, weirder that
did you want something else?
He's actually the weird one for not saying anything.
They're both weird.
Well, they're definitely both weird.
Yeah.
Here's why they're weird. She wrote in a red flag deal breaker to tell us they're meet cute.
Yes.
Right.
Stop bragging.
Right. This was an opportunity for. She saw our red flag deal breaker game as an opportunity to brag about their cute fucking nerd date.
Okay, so red flag or deal breaker.
They write into a podcast and brag about their.
You say, "Do you want the nachos?" She says, "Yeah, let's do it." And then she doesn't eat.
And
the
then
nachos.
she doesn't eat them. It's nothing. I would go, "What the? Are you not going to eat the nachos?" I would have. And then this would have been hashed out at the date. And then she goes, "I'm actually allergic to dairy." I didn't even think of it. I would go, "Oh yeah, then let's get something else."
Right.
I don't. And
yeah, I wouldn't be like.
I would be like, "Are you hungry?"
We already ordered them. What does she think he's going to yell at her?
Right. What's going to happen?
I get where she's like, I want to be like the fun.
Right.
I do that sometimes with like getting another drink. I'm like, I don't really need another drink, but like I want to like hang. All right, let's do another one.
Well, let's do a real one.
Yes. No one wants your meet cute.
Right. Red flag or deal breaker. He's too good in bed, and now we're in love. What? Hi, J&J, longtime listener, new benefits subscriber.
Welcome.
Sign up for the benefits, people.
Great benefits with Logan this month. Jared bared his soul.
I walked
took one
out
for
of
the
here.
team.
I took one for the team.
You're like, I want a raise.
I
We went in on you, but like in a good way.
in a good way. No, we didn't cut anything from it because we said like at the end maybe if you want something cut. I thought it was all worth being on the podcast, but yeah, Logan Urie's fantastic. Okay,
she was great.
Winter 2021, I matched with this guy on Bumble. We were in Florida, so everything was open. We briefly chatted on the app, then exchanged numbers to schedule a date.
All right.
Okay,
so you'll be him, I'll be her.
Okay. Cool. Let's meet on Thursday, 8 p.m. Sound good?
Okay, where are we going?
Do you like wine?
Yes.
Awesome. We could split a bottle of wine at my new apartment and see how the chemistry is. Smiley face. Do you prefer red or white? This guy is a used car salesman.
This is what I would. This is when I got. If I got this text, this is what I would be doing on the other side.
Right.
This is who I'm dealing with. Right. Yeah.
That you've the mask is. This is the Scooby-Doo moment. Here I am. I want to fuck the whole time.
The smiley face.
Yeah. I mean, this is the big reveal.
Right.
This is the reveal. This is. Oh, you like wine? You know what else I like? Drinking wine in my apartment where I'm going to try and fuck you. Right.
All right. And then she's got a good.
I thought he was. Okay.
I think she's got a pretty good answer. Red, but I'd also prefer to meet you out somewhere.
Let's just tell her we've done a lot of. This has been a negative episode.
Good answer.
Great answer.
Yeah.
Great work.
Casual.
Claps to you.
Answering.
Snaps to you. Okay. There we go. LOL. I'm really laid back. Bring pepper spray if you are that worried. LMAO.
I'd be out at that. Don't mention the pepper spray.
I mean, it's
bring pepper spray if you're that worried.
If you're really that worried.
Also, it sounds like he said that to someone else. That's like his line.
This isn't even. He's not even speaking to a person at this point.
Yeah. I got a solution for you. Bring pepper spray in case you need to. In case I try to attack you.
Right. Let me read it how she. I can read it even worse. Let me make him sound how he actually sounds. Okay? So awesome. We could split a bottle of wine at my new apartment and see how the chemistry is. Smiley face. Do you prefer red or white?
Red, but I'd also prefer to meet you out somewhere.
Come on, I'm really laid back. Bring pepper spray if you're that worried.
I think I will pass.
Ha ha. Okay, meeting out is fine. Meet at the Ben at 8 p.m. for a drink. Sound good?
Based on your last response, it doesn't seem like we would be a great match, but good luck out there.
Hey, don't take it wrong way. I work crazy hours running my company. And to be honest, find it relaxing to connect where it is intimate and can have a good convo. Prefer present. Prefer presence?
Oh, he prefers like to be present.
Prefers to be present? You can't write this, that whole thing, like you're kind of outed by how badly written it is. Like he's trying to sound like he's like higher level. To me, this is like,
at my company that I run.
Right. I'm going to start calling this Aaron Rodgers speak, where you are trying to sound smarter than you are when you're really not that smart.
Right.
He thinks highly of himself.
Yes.
I run a company. Dude, take the note.
Right. Just take the loss.
Take the loss.
Yeah. You tried something. You threw it out there.
Right.
Maybe it worked before. It's not working now.
I just don't understand. Like if I was to talk with this guy and read with him this text conversation, I would hope that he would like understand. I went for it, and like I can't understand that if I sat man to man with him.
It's like an ego thing, I think.
It's definitely the same in my company. But if I sat man to man with him, I would wonder if like, because like to me this is like, I'm like, how far away can we be? Like I would wonder if I said to him, you can't understand that she would feel uncomfortable going to your house with ever meeting you.
And she said it normally and nicely.
Right. And I would want to hear his answer. I actually want to hear his answer because I kind of live in the land of like if I had to put words to it, I can't defend it.
Right.
So what is his defense? I don't understand. Other than, and again, this happens on dating apps.
He doesn't give a shit. He just wants to get what he wants.
Right. And dating apps, because you don't know anyone in common, there's less, to lose.
Right.
Like he has nothing to lose.
She's not going to tell anyone you know that you're being weird.
Right. And the minute you say no, he goes back on the app and he tries to catch a new fish that might fall for the fucking thing. So,
well, good for her.
I've always wondered if this interaction was now
egregiously.
She should have him try and read egregiously and see how smart he is. As a punishment. Egregiously rude and misogynistic as I perceived it to be at the time. So red flag or deal breaker, he nags you for not wanting to meet at his apartment for a first date. Sincerely, no pepper spray needed. P.S. Luckily, my next Bumble match was with my now husband, who had no problem meeting in public for the first date. That's a appropriate way to tell us how you're married now.
Yes.
That's
not like the other woman, braggy.
Red flag or deal breaker, your husband takes you to a public place for a first date. That's how the first person wrote it. Okay, so what do you think? I mean, I think
deal breaker. I don't know if I read this as like misogynistic. I guess
I don't care.
Right.
Like
I didn't read it. Right. I didn't read it as like like this guy like thinks women are horrible. Like I didn't read it as. I just read it as a rude person who's self-centered and is not trying to date anyone seriously.
Right.
I didn't read it as someone who's like it had anything to do with like thinking women are inferior or something. I don't know.
Misogynistic is a hashtag you could use to make this story go more viral. I think that's why people use these words.
Right.
The words don't matter. This guy's a piece of shit.
But it's great that he did this because she didn't even have to go out with him to know that like this is what he does.
And I'll say this. I'm not saying this to be a hero. I am saying this to just let people know. There's no reason to go on a first date at someone's house. This email, I'm sorry she went through this. It's annoying. It's just like,
deal breaker, yeah.
Well, also, I guess the defense of him is he's like, I'm just here to fuck, but he's not even saying that. If he just said, this dude should be on field.
No one says that. No guy will say, I'm just trying to have sex. No guy would say that.
That's actually a better guy.
I would agree, but no guy would ever say that. I've never heard that before. All right. A few years ago, I went on 2 or 3 dates with a dentist. Fun. Mm-hmm. On the last date we went on, he was talking about his childhood and told me that he knew his parents would have sex on Sunday because he could hear it, and he thought it was sort of sweet when he knew that was going on. Why would you tell anybody that? That's so weird, especially this soon into knowing each other. He actually ghosted me after this date. A romantic. So red flag or deal breaker, he tells you he fondly remembers his parents having sex every week. I think this entirely depends on how this was told.
I totally agree. Like it could be this. Could it have been told in a way that's not weird? Yes.
I think so.
Right.
In a way that's kind of endearing.
Absolutely.
This wouldn't be a deal breaker for me.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
It could. You could start. Here's how it could happen.
Right.
Like if we were to like play it out, how could it happen in a not weird way? We're on a date. Hey, you're talking about. Are your parents still married?
No, they got divorced when I was like 9.
Oh, well, my parents are still together. I feel really lucky they're still together.
How's their relationship? Are they like still in love?
You know what? Sometimes it feels like they hate each other. They're always screaming and they're always at each other's throats. And it's like small squabbles. And then it's sometimes I'll walk in the house like on Sundays, whatever reason. I know this is weird to like say, but on Sundays, I walk in the house or it was actually last Sunday. I walked in the house, and my mom's like, I think my parents were having sex, and I could hear my mom in the other room. She's moaning, and I'm like, what is that? My mom in the other room? And she's going, and I'm like, this is crazy. So I ran out of the house, and I was like, I'll never tell anyone about this ever again. And then I came back the next Sunday, same moaning, and my dad goes, I could hear him go,
Okay. I wouldn't like the noises.
No? Okay.
The noises would be a little much for me.
But you can see how it goes.
But I could see the walls in my house are like super thin. Right. And a couple of times Sundays that I've stayed there, I've like kind of heard my parents. But you know what? At first I was kind of grossed out. But then I thought, isn't it kind of nice that they're still at it?
30 years of marriage.
I could see phrasing something like that. Yeah.
I was trying to be funny, but no, but I agree. There's a way it could come up in a couple drinks in. You know what's weird? I actually heard my parents having sex when I was younger every Sunday. That's fucking weird.
Yeah. I think that's like vulnerable and intimate and kind of funny.
I'm with you.
She might be the issue.
Right. A little prude.
It's inappropriate.
Right.
Okay, you're on a date.
Excuse me. Older people fucking.
Right. if he's making the grunting noises that his mom makes, that might be a little over the line for me.
This is what this podcast is all about. Context, nuance, getting to the answers of dating that everyone has. We did it again.
We did it.
Dating.
Proud of us. Happy New Year. This is the last day we'll say it. Happy New Year.
This is the last official. January 9th, I think, is the last day you can say Happy New Year.
Yes.
And we are saying it to you. We're back Friday.
Bye. You Up is produced by Candice Maniga and Shannon Sassone. Edited by Emily Freed. Social media by Candice Maniga. Booking by Ali Freelander. Please remember to rate, review, and subscribe to our show. Send your emails to youup@betches.com. And check out you.up.podcast on Instagram.